So it was down to Jimi Bell and Zach Wilde.
Wow.
And ultimately, Zach got the gig. But Jimmy was right there, like so close.
Right.
Jimi Bell in studio now. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah,
thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
What do you think did it? Do you know?
To be honest, Zach looked a lot different than he does now. Obviously he looks, he looks like a Viking.
Like a mountain man.
Yeah. But, he very much was a real clean-cut guy, long blonde hair. He played a Les Paul the way Randy did. He had that whole vibe going.
Kind of had a Randy vibe.
Yeah, he had a Randy vibe. And I had somebody, actually even say to me, even though, probably wasn't true, that did you ever think of the fact that because you were left-handed like Tony Iommi was, and of course Ozzy and Tony were at, big disagreement during that time, that might have done something. But you just don't know in this business. It's very, very
You never
crazy.
know.
Yeah,
No.
it's true.
Did they ask you to write any songs? They asked you to do a lead, right? Like your own lead.
Yeah, so I did 4 songs. I started off with I Don't Know. I played Crazy Train. Then I did...
now, you did the leads note for note
No,
for the record?
I did them pretty much note for note, but I'm not one of those note for note guitar players. I never have been, because I always wanted to be my own guitar player, so I made it a point to not copy anybody. Note for note, but
we'd be able to recognize it.
Yeah, you have to do certain things, or else it would be like,
what is this?
Yeah, what is this? Why are you playing this? Which is what we did our first interview, when I was telling you about the Sweden
guy.
Yeah, that tried to change Randy solo.
Yeah, you don't do that.
No.
Yeah,
but I kept it, pretty true.
That's funny. I wonder if the band told him, "Oh, you got to do your own," because you had some time with the band, didn't you? Before Ozzy came out.
Well, the day before. So I flew in, and like I said, Ozzy's guy picked me up. They brought me in a hotel, gave me a couple $100, beautiful hotel. Matter of fact, I think the guys from Whitesnake were rehearsing, because Adrian Vandenberg was taking the elevator up to the pool.
Okay.
And at that time, they had me go right.
What year is this?
1986.
Okay.
So I went right to the studio, and the drummer, Randy Castile, and Phil Suzanne, the bass player, had me play, but Sharon sat there, because Sharon's the one, they already started working with Zach. So Sharon, Kramer Guitars, sent my video. Sharon saw it. I really like this. I'm flying this guy out. She flew me out, and she sat there just to make sure she didn't waste the plane ticket.
Yeah.
Or waste Ozzy's time. So I played it. I really clicked with the band. And then she said, well, we're going to keep you. And the next day they brought me to a different building.
That's weird. They're already working with Zach, but they brought you in.
Yeah.
What do you think that was about? You think that maybe somewhere along the interview process something came up where she thought, well, I should have a backup plan here?
Well, you never know. They wanted to be sure. Here comes, they started working with somebody. Then they get another videotape, and they go, oh, this is, we better check this out just to make sure,
right?
What the deal is. But it was, the experience alone was great.
Exactly.
I can't even tell you what it was like to be in the bigger studio and just kind of sitting there. You're looking around, and then, Ozzy walks in. It's pretty, it's intense.
Yeah.
That's the only word I could give you, is intense.
You're seeing a hero walk in.
How tall is he?
He wasn't overly tall by any means.
Well, that's the thing when you meet these guys. Like, you just picture them being larger than life.
Exactly, yeah.
And we met the Stones under the Brooklyn Bridge when they were doing that tour. And
they fit.
I was like, oh, they're all little mini people.
Right, like little garden gnomes.
That was just like, I love Ronnie James Dio. And
oh, yeah. And
tiny.
at the New Haven Coliseum.
Ronnie coming up to me, I'm looking down a bit, and it's like, he doesn't look like that when you're watching videos of him. You know?
Yeah, he was awesome.
So Ozzy walks in. This is the short hair Ozzy, right? This is like
The
really
short hair, he had
which made him look crazier.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was a bit crazier. So, I play, and I'm doing really good now.
Do you think Ozzy's like on drugs at this point, or not really?
How did I put it last time on the interview? He was happy that day.
Okay.
A little bit happy.
Gotcha.
All right.
Maybe not at the studio when we were doing it, but when we went out to dinner afterwards.
Oh yeah.
It was at
Well, that's happy time.
yeah,
sure.
it was, so, I go up and I start off with I Don't Know. And you all know how that song goes, bam, I start it, and then the whole band comes in. And, Ozzy does this thing where he's standing there with the mic, and I've seen him do it live many times. And as the band starts grooving, he starts rocking back and forth like this.
Yep.
And I saw him doing that. So I this is a good sign.
It's a good sign, Rob.
That's a good sign, you know.
Right. He's moving.
Yeah, so he's moving, he's getting into it. And then I go to do the solo that, that Randy does in the song. And Ozzy got right down in front of the amp, put his ear up to it.
Oh,
and
that's
listen. Yeah, I mean, it's a
isn't that a little nerve-wracking?
Well, it was, but like I said, the experience that happened right before I went on with him making like he was strangling the guy and everything, me visualizing that sitting next to Sharon, like she thought nothing of it. It was like,
Just a common occurrence.
Yeah, this goes on at my house.
This was the Swede. That was the Swede guy, right?
The Swede guy.
So the Swede guy comes out. He starts doing his own leads.
Yeah, he
and
changed.
Ozzy behind his back is like, I want to kill this freaking guy. At that moment, you knew he's done.
Right.
Yeah, he tried to change the legendary tapping part in Flying High Again, that descending line.
Yeah,
and
that's good for ABBA. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't do something like that.
No, you don't change the most iconic part of the lead.
Yeah. So I mean, I did a bunch of songs, and then I had to do a little solo by myself. Ozzy sits down and Sharon afterwards, and they say, well, look, it's between you and Zach. And, give us some time to, go over this. And she goes, meanwhile, we're going to take you out to dinner. Nice. So they bring me to this very expensive restaurant there. And that's when.
And how are you guys dressed? Are you all dressed like you just walked off stage?
Yeah. You know, but there's you got to understand.
Does Ozzy have all the jewelry on?
Yeah, he had some of his stuff.
And clang, 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 clang.
Had a shirt on. Yeah.
Clang.
You got to understand, too. I mean, this restaurant that we went to was all, business suit people.
They're all buttoned up.
Yeah. It was a very expensive restaurant.
So he kind of stuck out.
Yeah. So, but, it's Ozzy. He could go wherever he wanted.
It's true. That's right.
So, we went to dinner. That's right. I told you I offered him my cherry tomatoes on my salad, and he said no. And then I'm talking to the drummer this way, and I see Ozzy's hand go into my salad and start eating my cherry tomatoes. It was classic. It really was. That's when Sharon took him out. Sharon said, okay, we got to go. So I sat with the band a little bit. Then we went back to wherever Sharon and Ozzy were staying, and that's where I met the oldest daughter, Amy.
Okay.
So, and that story where I'm sitting on the couch, Ozzy's in a chair, and he's got Amy on his lap. And all of a sudden, Black Sabbath Paranoid comes on MTV. And so he's bouncing, on the TV. So that was a very cool moment, a father-daughter moment that the people usually don't see.
He became a very good father.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. So, I ended up going home. I never got a reason. I never got a phone call to say I didn't get it. It was just I found out that Zach was, the guitar player. And, that was like, so heartbreaking. To be that close. I almost wish I didn't get that close, but the experience alone was...
It's better than being the Swede.
Yeah.
And hearing like Ozzy was like fake choking you.
Right.
Yeah, and not just choking, almost like pretending he was stabbing you. In the back.
Yeah. Ozzy wanted you dead.
You imagine?
He was preparing you for dinner.
Choking was not enough.
Yeah,
he needed to make sure you had
like
no air and no
thing
blood.
He was going.
Yeah, he wanted bouncing in the guy's crotch.
So, the next thing I know, I'm home and, I'm, very upset about it. But then my phone rings and there's this English gentleman on and he says, hello, is this Jimmy? He says, my name is Terry Butler. He goes, I'm putting together a new project. And, Sharon gave me your tape, and I'm going, who do I know named Terry Butler? Terry Butler. And then all of a sudden it rang. I go, this is Geezer Butler, the bass player from Black Sabbath.
Right.
This guy's my favorite bass player. So next thing I know, I fly to St. Louis. He had some family there. And I walk into his house. He picks me up at the airport. We have a beer.
Yeah.
That was totally different than when I went for Ozzy. Ozzy had his driver.
Yeah.
But Geezer picked me up.
Right.
It's weird getting off an airplane. There's Geezer Butler, the bass player of Black Sabbath, picking you up.
Holding hands with Jimi Bell.
Wasn't Black with Ronnie at that time, right?
No, actually, this is when
in '86.
No, this is
Ray
they
Gillen?
were Tony Martin. They did the Headless Cross album.
Okay.
Yeah, and so it was strange. We went and I worked on a couple things at Geezer's house. You walk in there, it's a typical, gold, platinum records all over the place.
Yeah.
And then the next thing you know, I go home, I get a plane ticket to go to London, and I'm off to London to rehearse with him at this really big studio. We had the singer Carl Sentence, he sings with Nazareth, and Jez Woodruff, the keyboard player, he wrote Little by Little and Big Log from Robert. He was in Robert Plant's solo band.
Damn.
Okay.
Yeah, and the drummer Gary Ferguson, he's well known throughout the area, but he was his most notable thing. He's at the beginning of Shakin', Eddie Money's video.
Okay.
The drummer.
The
the drum. So he's that's one of his big things.
Well, we got to talk to you about Joan Jett and Michael J. Fox.
Yeah.
Jimi Bell in studio. Jimi Bell in studio. He was like this close. You see how close my fingers are?
Like a taste
We
bud.
see it.
This
Paper
close
thin. Paper
to
thin.
being picked for Ozzy's
Damn.
band. Ultimately, Ozzy picked Zakk Wylde. We have Zakk Wylde talking about why he thinks he got the gig.
Like you said, I was into lifting weights then, and I offered Oz, I was doing powerlifting at the time. He said, well, Zach, if you give me the steroids and the growth hormone, I'll let you play guitar in the band.
Wow.
And that's pretty much how it worked out.
I see it works. He's old Jack now.
I did an interview where they, I think it was Revolver magazine, where they interviewed me and Zach at the same time. And Zach says in the interview, he says, it had nothing to do with playing. He says, I just did Ozzy's laundry better. I put the whites with the whites and the darks with the
Little subtle things.
just
The
that.
starch in the west. Yep.
Yeah, it was just so funny that he said that.
But you also worked with Joan Jett, Michael J. Fox. Are you in that movie?
I'm in the movie Light of Day. Now, the band I was with joined forces at the time. We were a band from Connecticut that got very popular, but we didn't do any cover tunes. We were like one of the only bands that decided not to do one single cover tune. We came out and wrote all our own music, and we did an hour and a half of, just all original music.
Yeah.
So someone that worked in Joan Jett's camp at Blackheart Records was starting a new management company with a guy that owned a fleet of tour buses. So he saw us, he signed us, and the next thing I know, we're out on tour with Joan Jett on a beautiful tour bus. I'm in my 20s. I'm not making any money. I'm making like $10 a day to eat, but I'm on a beautiful tour bus.
What year was it?
This was like 1985 or 84, somewhere around there.
Oh, so this is before the Ozzy.
Oh, this is before the Ozzy.
Okay.
Yeah, all this happened before Ozzy. So
you already had things going beforehand.
Yeah. Oh,
okay.
yeah. I had a lot of stuff going. A lot of it all stemmed throughout this Kramer guitar endorsement I have. The president of Kramer, Dennis Berardi, saw me play, and they kind of took me on as like a management thing. But, the Joan Jett thing was great. So we go out, the whole band is on our bus.
Top of the
crew. It's great. And I got to tell you, out of everybody that was in the band, Joan always treated me the best. I was the only one that I have a beautiful photo of her and I together. She didn't do that with anybody else. And, she would talk to me constantly. We built a very good friendship to the point where, even recently when she played down at Mohegan, with Bryan Adams, I was able to go back. She came off the tour bus and gave me a big hug.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
you guys bonded. What do you think you bonded over?
I don't know. It could have been the way I looked back then. I looked like her.
You remind me of me.
If I show you the picture, I had very spiked hair like Nikki Sixx, and
you're easgetting though too. You have a very nice,
very domestic
spirit.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I didn't get intimidated by her. She's just very pleasant to talk to. And I didn't aggravate her. I made it a point not to be, oh, hey, can I have your autograph?
And you're not like, I'm a rock star, sex, drugs, rock and roll.
Yeah.
It seems like you're very gentle and all about the music.
Yeah, I want to be known as the nicest guy in rock and roll.
That's cool. You definitely have that title here.
Nothing wrong with that, yeah.
But so we go out on tour with her, and then next thing I know, she's doing a film, Light of Day, with Michael J. Fox, and they need a band for the movie. So we still had to send photos and everything to the producer of the movie. Yeah. And, of course, they picked us. And the next thing, we're flying to Chicago. And that's where we filmed the movie. Now, the funny thing is, I met Michael the day before at the Limelight. They had a Limelight in Chicago at the time, just like the one in New York that they had. And Michael
at the time is one of the biggest stars on the planet.
Seriously, yeah.
Now Michael was had been there, a little
partying
a little bit.
Yeah, he liked that party. Yeah,
yeah. And so he was he looked up, he said hello. They brought him out to meet us, and then this is the wildest thing. These things happen to me all the time. His manager says, "Would you do me a favor?" He says, "Michael's getting bothered a lot. People keep coming in and looking at him. Would you come in to where we're sitting and sit at the opposite side of the couch?" And I
kind of look like security.
Yeah, no. I said, "Why would you want?" I said, "I have no problem doing that." Why? He goes, "Well, you look an awful lot like Nikki Sixx, so we want people to think that you're Nikki Sixx.
You're a distraction."
So I was a distraction.
Oh, you're a decoy.
I was a decoy for Michael J. Fox.
Nice.
So
I put that in the resume.
Yeah, I should use that.
That should be on the resume.
Yeah.
So
decoy.
The next day, we're up at 4 a.m. in the makeup trailer. Being on a movie set's totally different. So we're there and a
lot of waiting around.
Yeah, but they're making us up for. They want us to look kind of like a Kiss band, and extra makeup, and they made me look more pale white than I already was.
Okay.
So,
right.
Oh man, I want to find this scene now.
If you type in my name, Jimi Bell, Light of Day, there's the clip will come right up, and you'll get to see me on stage with Joan.
Nice.
So we recorded the album. We did the soundtrack album at the record plant. And, it was an incredible experience. Joan is wonderful.
Yeah. She seems it, though. I mean, she's been around for a long time.
Yeah. I can't say enough nice things about her, really. She's a sweetheart.
Oh, my God, your hair.
Yeah. Do you see the picture?
Yeah.
Okay, so that
very, very bouffant.
That photo is Joan and I at the movie. And then exactly 30 years later is the one, her and I, right there, side by side.
It looks like you both went to the same hairdo that day, though.
Yeah.
You're both very bouffant.
Is this it here?
Yeah. That's me on stage.
Oh, you're the left-handed guy.
Yeah, I'm the lefty guy.
Okay. What a trailblazer she was for rock music and women and rock.
How we filmed that was insane.
Oh, really?
We did about 12 takes of the song, and they had the record plant mobile truck outside the club.
Can we keep you here for a little bit?
You can keep me here as long as you want.
Okay, cool.
I just don't want to go into anybody else's time.
No. We're gonna talk to a guy who just bought a big brewery. Yeah. And then we're going to go back to music because today's vinyl record day.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about music with you.
Was Jethro Tull's Aqualung on the list?
No, Contender.
That's a good one, though.
Contender, though.
Yeah.
Was a good one. There.
I was thinking about that when I was listening to you in the car. I said, that's a great album cover.
All right, hang out. Okay? Jimi Bell in studio with us. 99.1 PLR. Well, that was an interesting conversation that just broke out at the end of that Chili Pepper song. Jimi Bell, guitarist, auditioned for Ozzy. He was this close.
Like paper thin close.
What were you saying about the Danbury Trashers?
Oh, well, my best friend, and it's like family to me, Jimmy Galantini and his wife, Tina.
Now, that's the father.
That's the father.
And the son is AJ. We've had AJ on.
Yeah.
He was tremendous.
He was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, AJ's a wonderful person. They just had another baby. It's a great family. I spend Christmas with them and the holidays. And a matter of fact, next week, I'm playing at the San Gennaro Festival, which Jimmy puts on all the time. And last year we played it on a Saturday. This year I'm doing Thursday, and we're playing 2 hours straight. We're starting at 8:00 and going right through to 10.
Nice.
But it's really an honor. I'll be carrying the San Gennaro statue on Wednesday. Oh, nice. Yeah,
What kind of are you Italian?
Oh, yeah, very.
What kind of Italian name is Bell?
Well, my real last name is Bella Salami.
There you
I'm
go.
only
It's a certain brand of salami.
Bella Salami.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how you doing? Don't talk to me like that. No, my real last name was Belli. And when my relatives came over, they got very Americanized quick. Bella, Bell.
Okay.
Right.
And so that was it. But my mom's side of the family, Angelo or Angelillo, so it was, my whole family is very Italian.
Oh, nice. Well, we're going to talk about the time you took Ozzy's oldest daughter to a castle. But first, Andre from Derby wanted me to play this song. And it's a Black Sabbath song.
This is the one I wrote.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool. This is Master of Insanity. Is this kind of a takeoff of Masters of Reality?
I had come up with the title. I wrote all the music to this and came up with the title. And Geezer wrote the lyrics for it.
And which Black Sabbath album did this end up?
Dehumanizer.
Gotcha.
What year did Dehumanizer come out?
I think 1993.
Okay.
92 or 93. That's another one of those stories. I've got many of them.
Oh, yeah.
So you wrote this song. You give it to Geezer?
I was working in Ronnie was about to sing. That's okay.
Oh, okay.
I was working with him at a different studio over in Birmingham. I believe it was just outside of Brighton. It was an old English Air Force base that they turned into studios where you would rehearse. You'd live there. You'd have there was a servant, there was a person that was, cooking for you and everything. So I'm in the studio one day, and now this project I did with Geezer was trying to get away, still keep it heavy, but he was trying to do more like a melodic heavy music, kind of like what I do with House of Lords, keyboards, that type of thing.
Yeah.
But one day he comes to me, he says, do you have anything that's kind of similar to a Black Sabbath song? And I said, well, actually I do. I said, I've been working on this song. I have it completed. And I said, I have this title going around. Now, I don't write lyrics. I only write music. That's for all the bands. I write the music.
Right.
I give it to the singer and let the singer do what they want.
You plug the words in, yeah.
Yeah, you do what you want with it. So I said, I have this title. I said, it's, Master of Insanity. Geezer liked that. So he wrote all the lyrics based off of that. And, we recorded the song. Matter of fact, my version is on YouTube somewhere. My version with him playing it.
Yeah.
And at some point later on, after they decided they were going to get back together with Black Sabbath was going to get back with Ronnie Dio.
Yeah.
I received a phone call from Geezer's wife, Gloria Butler, and she goes, Jimmy, I'm sure you heard that Black Sabbath is getting back together with Ronnie, and I have some wonderful news for you. And I said, really? She goes, we're going to use your song, Master of Insanity, on the record. And I'm like thrilled. I'm going, oh my God, this is incredible.
That'll be a check forever.
Yeah. Well, then she goes, but we have one problem.
Uh-oh.
And I said, of course there's a problem. There's always a problem.
Right. She didn't call you to give you good news.
Yeah, she did. She just wanted to inform me, giving me the heads up, like, in a courteous, very, very polite way. She says, Tony Iommi will never allow a song by another guitar player on a Black Sabbath record. So we have to say Geezer wrote the song, but Geezer will put you in his special thanks on the record, which he did.
Yeah.
And she said, we will pay you for the song at the end of the tour. So, what was I going to do?
Then you ask how much? Or
No, I just said, I was very disappointed, but what was I going to do? This is Black, I'm Jimi Bell. This is Black Sabbath.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, I don't like, I like to keep peace as much as possible.
Yeah, of course.
So, the album comes out. My song gets mentioned as being one of the good tracks on there. It was so well received that it ended up in Black Sabbath's set list live. So, in other words, it wasn't just a song that was a throwaway song to make the record.
This is the song.
Yeah.
This song's going to be in our set.
Yeah.
So I go to see them. They played in Boston and Hartford. And
you got Dio singing it.
I'm sitting there in the audience, and I'm just like listening to a song I wrote having Ronnie James Dio's voice on it. And I'm just going, this is just mind-blowing, because Ronnie was really one of my favorite vocalists. Ronnie was one of my things. Like, if anybody said, what artist would you have loved to be in a band with, that it would have been Ronnie Dio.
Oh, hands down, yeah.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been his guitar player.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was incredible. And then, of course, the tension between Sabbath and everything happened again. So Ronnie was once again left. And I'd run into Ronnie on one of his, his solo band shows. And I walk up to him. It was at the Webster Theater in Hartford. And, I got to go back. I said, hey, Ronnie, my name is Jimi Bell. And he points at me. He goes, Jimi Bell, Master of Insanity.
Nice.
That's what he said.
So he
knew. He knew right then and there. And then I said, He goes, yes. He says, I told him just to pay you for the song. What was the big deal and everything? That he was such a gentleman that he was there to have dinner with people that won a contest. It was have dinner with Dio or something.
What would paying you for the song have been? Like, what do you think would have been fair?
I don't know. At that point in
my
life.
Well, if they gave you $100, you would say, that's
thank
full.
you.
But to the $100, but what do you think would have been a price where you're like, okay, that's fair?
I'm good, yeah.
Is it $10,000?
I don't know. It's
really?
like one of those things where, I always looked at it was like, come on, you're Black Sabbath, you're billionaires, don't you?
Yeah.
You can't.
Right.
Yeah,
throw me
just throw
a
me
bone.
Throw me a freaking bone
you
here.
get the cake, yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like a doggy bag when you're leaving dinner. It's
right.
like, here, just give me your scraps.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, anything. I would have taken zero money if they said, you're going to get songwriting credit.
Yeah.
That would have been incredible.
Yeah.
So,
but you would have gotten royalties with that if you put you on
was
there.
the problem.
That'd be nice too. Yes.
Yeah. So, I didn't get that. So the tour ends, and of course, I never received a dime. Not any of the money
Until this day.
To this day.
Wow.
And I wasn't.
It wasn't.
I'm not bitter.
No, you don't sound it.
No.
Yeah, no, I'm not bitter. I was just.
I'm bitter for you.
Yeah, other people have been bitter for me as well. No, here's the
annoying.
thing. How many people could say they have a song on a Black Sabbath record? How many people could say they have a song that they wrote that Ronnie James Dio sang on?
Yeah.
So to me, those are.
Yeah, I got you.
That's highlight.
It's a blessing.
Yeah, it is.
Here, let me play a couple more seconds of it. It's a great riff. Yeah. That's a real great riff, man.
Yeah. And having his voice there, just does it, man.
I still think you should have gotten paid, but
I know. What are you going to do?
What are you going to do now? What are you going to do?
Let's go find him right
now. Yeah. All right, Jimi Bell is in studio. We're going to talk about the time Jimmy brought Ozzy's oldest daughter to a castle. I'm sure that went very well. Guitarist Jimi Bell in studio. He was this close to being Ozzy's lead guitarist, but he's in House of Lords now.
Yes.
You're also an Autograph, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Yep.
And you did entrance music for wrestlers?
Yeah, I play. Ever since 2006. I ended up a buddy of mine was at a club. This is weird things like that. He was a bouncer at a club, and he was watching me play, and he says, you would do really good down at my other job. And I said, well, where do you work?
Yeah.
He says, I'm a camera guy for the WWE, and I flipped out because I've always been a huge wrestling fan.
Oh, cool.
I mean, from the early day, I was
Right.
in the Hulk Hogan era,
Yeah.
So it was a real honor. So he sends my videotape down. Within a day, I get a phone call from the music producer at the time, Jim Johnson. I go down, and I'm doing a new track for the wrestler, The Edge. And even though The Edge didn't use it, but it was like that. There was a lot of times like the wrestler would approve it or not. But that was my first assignment. I go down there, and anytime they wanted like some wild guitar playing on one of the wrestlers' entrance
You're the
music,
go-to guy.
yeah, I was the guy.
Nice.
So going down.
Do you
there,
know any of them offhand?
No, I never met.
You just played and then
Yeah. Although I was getting a Pepsi at the machine. Now they're recording TV studio at the time. We're talking before they moved.
Yeah.
The old building where the WWE was. They had a whole TV recording studio around a corner in another building.
Yeah.
And that's where I would go. And honestly, it was a real trip. You walk in there. And, I never met Jim Johnson before, but once you go,
he's the music guy.
Yeah, he's the music producer. He was there ever since 1980 something. It was, right to work.
Yeah.
So,
we're not standing around talking.
It's like, hey, how you doing?
Time
It was
is
a
money.
nice little intro. Okay. And he's behind. Okay, this is what we got to do, because you got to understand, I would go there on Monday, and whatever I was doing was going to be aired Monday Night Raw.
Oh, wow.
So, and
damn.
like whatever day like SmackDown was, I was going to have to, whatever.
I prefer that.
Yeah. So SmackDown was.
Let's not stand around.
Right.
Yeah,
Just be
Tell me what you got. You got a
Yeah.
deadline? Let's do it.
I mean, literally, he's playing the track as I'm trying to get my guitar out of the case. I'm going, hey,
Hold on.
hey, I'm a nice guy.
Can I take my coat off first?
Gary in Wallingford.
Hey, I know the tribe and the station has a lot of pull. How about Connecticut State guitarist Jimmy Bell?
Yay.
We need that.
Connecticut State guitarist.
why
We have
not?
everything else. State this, state
Why
that.
not? I can see a statue.
We have a stupid state
I got
bird.
Another thing, though. I bought one of Jimmy's Shrednecks, and I remember talking to him when I bought it. He would be driving down 95 down to WWE headquarters doing these riffs.
Oh my God! Thank you so much. I was actually using that all the way down. I keep in my guitar in my car. I have one. I'll have to tell you what the Shredneck is. You'll have to
What
look
is
it
a
up.
shredneck?
Awesome.
The Shredneck is an invention of mine. It's Shredneck, like redneck with a SH in front of it.
Yeah.
Shredneck.com. It was something that I invented when after I busted my hand.
Oh,
Yeah, I did something stupid.
what'd you do? Did you punch a wall?
I did.
Okay.
There's
a lot of guitarists who have done that.
well,
you know.
listen,
Tom
when-
Petty did that. Remember? Do you remember when that happened?
At one point in my life, I did drink, and I was holding a phone.
Wait, a rock musician?
Oh, good
who
heavens.
drank?
I know.
When did that start happening?
What was your favorite drink? Let me guess. Jack Daniels?
I
No?
loved it.
Jack Daniels?
Loved it.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
I had my bout with Jack. Jack and I
We parted ways.
We decided we're not.
I quit.
Well,
I quit.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you, Gary. When I did drink, people knew that I liked Jack. And one Christmas, I had a table full of gifts of all Jack
Daniels.
Loaded up.
I had one of those birthday party. I had just quit. I'm like, I had a bad night on Jack.
Yep.
I can't wake up and say what happened anymore. And my birthday was like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And just everyone brought Jack Daniels. I'm like,
Damn it. Every time I think I'm done, they pull me back in.
now I have to finish these.
Right.
Yeah, so I did. I was on the phone. I was having an argument with my first wife. She was in another room and everything. I was holding the phone with my left hand. Now, normally I would have punched with my left hand,
Right.
But I didn't. I was on the phone. I said, "Will you shut up, please?" And I punched the wall, thinking I'm going to be cool. I'm going I'm going to punch the wall and pop through the sheetrock. I'm going to
You
be
hit the
cool.
stud. Oh,
I
there's
hit the
a stud
stud.
behind it.
Yeah, I hit the stud. I popped this knuckle down. You can see it's not.
It's not in line with the other.
Yeah, it's not in line.
It's
So
boo-boos.
Well,
I had to go.
luckily
I
it
woke
wasn't
up
your left hand.
and I'm left-handed, so my right hand is the fretboard hand. And so I woke up the next day. I said, I went, and then I went.
This ain't good.
I had an X-ray done, and he go, yeah, you broke your hand. So I had to go to this doctor that I've been using ever since. A hand doctor, and he said, okay, I'm going to pop your knuckle back in. He says, grab a hold of chair.
Oh, I'm going to pull your finger. Look out.
Yeah, so I had to pull, hold on, and he took his hand and went bam like that. Then I was in a half cast.
Right.
And I'm a practice holic. I don't. I play guitar 24 hours a day. I still do a lot of that.
Why not?
But even with my cast, with the cast on, I had 2 fingers. I still practice with 2 fingers.
Oh, yeah,
nice.
why not?
That's cool.
So that's where you came up with the shred.
After they took the cast off, I wanted something in the car that I could practice that had real guitar strings.
Wait, while you're driving?
Yeah, well, I know it's illegal, but
Right.
yeah,
Multitask. Now it is.
Someone sent us a picture once of someone driving, playing a trumpet.
Yes. So why not? Yeah. The trombone would bust a
guitar is
windshield.
not that
The
bad.
trombone would bust a windshield. So.
Yeah, trombone you can't. But he had a trumpet in his mouth while he's driving in traffic.
Exactly right.
this thing is the Shredneck's about as a 7-fret instrument, and it has real strings on it. So what I do, you can't tune it. It's like working out with weights. It's in other words, I have strings on it just so I could keep my calluses built up, and I run my fingers back and forth on it. You could pull the strings,
pushing your fingers.
yeah, push your fingers to keep everything going. But we have models. I actually have a model for Zach. I went to him. I said, "Hey Zach, can I make a Shredneck?" He goes, yeah. So he says, so there's that, and we have one for Billy Sheehan, a bass model. And
Nice.
Oh wow. Mike in Beacon Falls.
How are you?
Hey,
How you guys doing today?
Good.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, Mike.
Mike Nicolari from the band room.
Hey, Mike.
How you been, man? I haven't talked to you in so long.
Yeah, it's nice to hear from you.
I think the last time I saw you, you stopped at my house for a little breathing space before trying out for Ozzy, I believe.
Wow. That's a while ago.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
So you're due to see him again.
Yeah.
I heard you on the radio, and I'm like, yeah, man, I haven't said hi to Jimmy in a long time.
Well, it's good to
We
hear
could
from
have
you.
done it off the
God
air.
bless you, man. You're doing well. We have a lot of mutual friends, and you are no doubt one of the best guitar players in the state of Connecticut.
And yes, that
Thank you
and
so much.
nicest guy.
Seriously, yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely. I remember when Jimmy came to my house. That was the first time I met him. Him and his girlfriend or wife at the time, I don't remember, Jim. It was your girlfriend or wife, so. But you were.
If you didn't know him, why was he at your house?
Yeah.
No, you didn't know that.
I think I met him through maybe Dan Brzezinski from Machinery.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're talking bands from my past, man. That's
Yeah.
Had a past, yeah, man.
a long time ago.
But anyway, I'll cut it short for you guys. And
I was going to cut you short because your phone sucks.
Yeah.
And catch up with Jimmy. We're going to link up to Jimmy on the radio station website. So
Thank you so
That would
much.
be
It's
great.
great to hear from you.
Hey, Mike, thanks,
yeah,
man.
you
Thanks,
too,
dude.
Jim. All right, guys.
All right. Jimi Bell, guitarist in studio, House of Lords autograph. This close to being Ozzy's guitar. You were growing up. Who were you listening to? Jimmy Page, of course.
Well, actually, I had three. No, not really. I had three main influences. Like I said, I'm older, so my influences are different. I grew up listening to Johnny Winter.
Okay.
He was, I liked Johnny because he was not only a blues guitar player, but he had a lot of fire, like a lot of fast. I gravitated towards guitar players that had a lot of fire, that played fast chops.
Yeah.
Then I discovered Richie Blackmore.
Nice.
Richie. And that changed my life.
Yeah.
Man, how many great famous one.
Yeah, iconics,
Yeah.
And then I discovered Al Di Meola, who was he was a jazz cat that played with Chick Corea, but that's where I learned my picking style, because my picking is very fast and fluent, everything's got to match.
Yeah.
So that, and then of course later on, then came Eddie Van Halen, but I had already started, I started working on my own style, like right away.
Yeah.
But
that's the thing. You start by copying the people you adore, and then you create your own style from that. And you'll still hear the influence in there, but you've created your own. You got
to understand. My time growing up, there was no such thing as computers, YouTube, anything like that.
No,
I literally had a record player that I would put it down to speed 16 to try and learn a lick. And I'm trying to learn Lazy by Deep Purple, and it's like, it
sounded lazy.
It sounded lazy. Lazy sounded lazy.
Yeah, it's like I couldn't figure it out, you know? It's like, but these young guitar players, they should be very grateful for all the tools that are, that's why they're so good now.
And now you can watch the fingers. I so many interviews I've done with great guitarists who, like you said, didn't have all of this, all the visual aids, and they would go and get front row tickets to a show so they could see.
Right.
Like Eddie Van Halen did that with Led Zeppelin. They went to, Eddie and Dave went to Led Zeppelin, or Eddie and Alex went to Led Zeppelin to watch what they were doing and how they were doing it.
Right, that was the only way.
Observational, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you ever get a chance to meet some of these heroes?
I have because of my connection with Kramer Guitars, there's a very good picture of me and Eddie Van Halen. I played a couple shows for Kramer Guitar. They used to have this thing called the Kramer Seymour Duncan Kramer Jam. And I played one in California, and I played one in Chicago. And the one in Chicago was pretty interesting. It's another, one of those stories. I wish I could be here at 10 o'clock because they could go on forever. They fly out, join forces. We play a few songs, and of course, I have to do a guitar solo by myself. I do a guitar solo by myself, and we're all downstairs in the dressing room now. You have people like Rudy Sarzo, every famous musician, Yngwie, all these guys are hanging out down in this dressing room. And there's Eddie and Neil Schon. And this was one of the most devastating things that had ever happened to me in my career. It's pretty weird. All of a sudden, I hear Neil Schon going, blah, 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 making fun of my playing to Eddie Van Halen.
Oh.
And he didn't know I was in the room, and Eddie didn't know I was in the room. They were mocking how fast I was playing.
Oh, wow.
So I automatically knew that they were probably talking about me. And, I felt this.
And you could tell by what Neil was playing.
No, by what he was saying. He was going, just doing making a gesture to Eddie.
Yeah.
And then Eddie looked over and saw me and shut Neil down real quick. Then Eddie came over afterwards with Valerie. So I met Eddie and Valerie.
Right. Jesus.
And Eddie apologized to me. He said, "Hey man, I'm sorry about that." He says, "But everybody knew how fast you were right off the bat. Maybe you shouldn't do it so much." I take all these things as lessons, but I was, back then I was, just going for it,
you were doing total smoke show from beginning to end. You were on 11.
Yeah, I was, that's the way it was. I had, people, you had guitar players like Yngwie Malmsteen coming up, just ripping it apart and everything. And I even said that to Eddie. I said, well, Eddie, you were such an influence to me, but, we got, Yngwie coming out. I'm just trying to, build up my game here and stay on top of what's going on, and, he was very cool. Neil never, I've heard a lot of stories about Neil anyway.
Yeah, he's kind of a,
yeah.
I don't think anyone has a good story about him.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of, what do I know? But I haven't heard a lot of good stories
Go
about
to
him.
the
They've
second
always been the opposite. He's kind of a dick.
Yeah, that's what everybody has said, and I had a firsthand experience about it. I even had to go to the bathroom.
And like when you're that guy, why wouldn't you be helpful to someone like you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just jealous.
Well, it was just a weird thing, It was
Don't mock people.
right.
Yeah,
that was actually really rude.
Yeah, it's rude.
What do you mean Neil fell down the stairs?
I did have to
But that
use
gave
the
you time
bathroom,
with
but
Eddie
he
Van
wasn't in
Halen.
there.
How many minutes were you with Eddie Van Halen?
Oh, I have two different things. One of them in there it is.
Yeah,
That's
the
the
picture,
California show.
yeah.
That was the California. Now Eddie was telling me right there in that photo that that is right as Sammy Hagar joined the band.
Okay.
So he was telling me all about what's going on with Sammy.
So you knew beforehand, or did the world know already?
It was before the album came out.
Okay, but
they announced.
Did we? So we already knew, but the album wasn't out.
Yeah, the
so
album
he's
wasn't
kind
out.
of telling you what they're doing.
Yeah, he says,
On the
"Oh,
album.
it's incredible," this and that, and so it was just he was very nice, Eddie, and once again, I've met so many wonderful people.
I got a chance to meet him once at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
This is when they were touring the Gary Sharon album, the album no one cares about.
Yeah.
Love Gary, love Van Halen, but not them together.
Exactly.
And the guy comes out and goes, "Okay, Eddie's coming out. I know you're going to want to shake his hand, give him a firm handshake. Don't do it."
Yeah. He's got to play.
Yeah, no, just shake his hand
Right.
lightly. Then we're going to take a picture. And
We're going to move on.
yeah. And I was standing with a guy who printed up a jacket for Wolfgang. Wolfgang was probably, I don't know how old he was then.
Right.
We could look it up, but he was a kid.
Yeah.
Like a baby.
Baby.
And he made a little jacket for Wolfgang with the Van Halen logo and Wolfgang.
That's cool.
And Eddie saw that jacket and he just stopped in his tracks. He was like, "Oh, this is a great gift.
This is awesome.
Yeah, and he gave it to his assistant. And
That was the whole thing with that did the Black Sabbath. That had a lot to do with the split when Van Halen opened up for Black Sabbath.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they were just wiping the floor with them. Because Van Halen was so hot when they came out. And that kind of like right after that point, that's when the whole thing started between Tony and Ozzy at the time.
Yeah, Ozzy was showing up drunk for a lot of things.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah.
Sharon saved him. Sharon.
Yeah.
She
kept him alive.
And he said that right up until his death.
Yeah.
That she saved his life.
Well, she made him say it.
and his career.
Yeah.
You
want
want to
hear his life?
You want to hear my story about the castle? Do we have time?
Yeah, not really. But
Okay.
can you do it in 20 seconds?
Yeah, I go to a castle in Birmingham, and it's called Warwick Castle, and it's an old, authentic castle. We go up to the lookout tower, all the way up. So Geezer says, "Well, it's about time we head down." So he had his two boys, Biff and James.
And you're with Ozzy's oldest daughter.
Yeah, Ozzy's oldest daughter was allowed to come.
You were asked to babysit.
Well, I was walking her. So so we start coming down the stairs, and we realize that there's no lights. They didn't modernize it. So Amy is, getting a little frightened. I had to pick up Amy in my arms, put my back against this spiral staircase going down the tower.
Yeah.
I'm holding her all the way down, going, "Oh my God, please don't let me drop Ozzy's daughter, please."
He'll bite my head off.
Yeah. It was one of those things.
Damn.
Jimmy, thanks for coming in, brother.
Yeah.
Tell your wife we said hello.
I will.
And come back soon.
Yeah,
please.
I want you to come out and see Beyond Purple whenever you can. It's the tribute band I do. It's Deep Purple, Rainbow, White Snake, everything. You would love it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All right, we're new best friends now.
As a matter of fact, I joined a team. It's Chaz, AJ, and Jimmy. Is that
right?
okay?
Nice.